Well, what's up, guys? Joey McKernan here with the Equip Show, and we are here to highlight another nonprofit. I've got Bree Campbell here with the, and I'm not going to mess this up because I said I might, Nebraska Interscholastic Cycling League, also known as Nickel. Bree, how are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to
Is
be
that
here.
hard? How many people mess up the name,
A
full name?
lot, a lot.
Nickel. We're just going to refer to it as Nickel in
Nichols
this
good.
interview. But thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'd love to know. Give us like the 10-second elevator pitch of what Nickel is, and then we'll get into kind of more your story.
Awesome. Okay, so Nickel, we first and foremost, we are reinventing youth sports. So
Mm,
it is, our mission is to build strong minds, bodies, character, and communities through cycling. We are really focused on youth development, and we use the mountain bike as a tool.
yeah.
So we're a little different in that from other sports organizations, we do not make kids try out,
Okay.
and we don't bench them.
You don't send them on a ramp or something on a mountain
We
bike
also
or
don't, no, we don't.
yeah.
We keep their wheels on the ground.
Gets good. That's cool. And so we'll get into that here in a second. Tell me a little bit about yourself. You're from Bellevue, Omaha.
Omaha.
Omaha. Okay.
I grew up in Benson.
Okay. Bunny, did you go to
I
Benson?
did.
Oh,
Right
wow.
out of the
Okay,
mud.
bro. And tell me how you got to this position. Because I think not many people, it's funny because you hear about a lot of executive directors. They're like, I don't know if I ever thought I would ever do a job like this, but you end up there and now you're doing it. Now you're
hmm
fundraising and it's
Right.
great. And so how'd you get here?
Yeah, was not a kid that thought I'm going to run a nonprofit when I get older.
Yeah.
I actually, since I was 4, wanted to be a teacher. And so I
Mm.
taught, and that was my focus. And
Yeah.
so I went to school. Um, I, I taught for 18 years. I
Okay.
actually got my doctorate because I wanted to
Oh,
be
wow.
a professor. And then in 2018, I just had some really significant life changes. Like my
Mm.
father passed away and I got divorced. And so I started mountain biking, like just
Mhm.
for fun. Someone took me on a ride and I got hooked instantly.
Yeah.
And then I started as a coach for the Millard West team where I taught.
Okay.
I say that loosely. I was the sweep.
Sure.
I made sure that just everyone got to where they needed to
Yeah.
be. So I
Sure.
learned alongside the kids. And
Yeah.
then the league started and I started as the grit coordinator for the girls program. It was just a volunteer
You
position.
said grit
Grit.
coordinator. I'm
Yep.
sure we'll learn what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the league director job opened up in 2021 and I
Okay.
took it and I
And
did that and taught at the same time for 2 years. And then
yeah.
now this is my full time.
Okay. And was Nickel already in Omaha by that point? Were you guys starting it? Was it pretty new?
It was, so we had a grassroots organization that was similar to what we do now, but it was getting bigger and to the point where we needed more resources. And so then
Sure.
the people who were running the previous racing series, they decided to put in a bid to be a NICA league, and that's the national organization that we are a part of.
Gotcha.
So
Okay. And now this is what you do.
yeah, this is my full-time gig.
Do you love it?
I absolutely love it. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
It seems really fun. Um, yeah, tell us a little bit about the organization. So it's a national organization.
We are one of 32 state leagues with the national organization, so we're
Okay.
more independently run. We just have a lot of support from our national like parent.
Yeah. Side note before we get too deep. Uh, Mrs. Campbell was at my high school, Bellevue East. Shout out Bellevue East. I just wanted to throw that in there. And I remember kids saying Mrs. Campbell, but I don't remember.
There
I
was
didn't
another Mrs.
remember.
Campbell there too,
There
so
was another one,
there
but
was.
yeah, just wanted to shout out. Hey, anytime a Bellevue East, not or alumni or teacher, we got to shout them
hmm
out. But let's talk about Nickel. So it's a national organization. You guys are growing it,
hmm
and tell me a little bit of how the program works specifically. So what kind of kids do you attract? Who does this make sense for?
So we have currently 25 teams across eastern Nebraska and western Iowa. And so really any kid between the ages of between the grades 6 and 12.
Okay.
And so the great thing about our organization is that it's not a year-long thing. And so um, kids can participate in our league and do mountain biking, but then they can also do other activities at school as well.
Mm,
So it's not going to take up their entire year.
Sure.
And so our 25 teams, they range from, high school teams specifically to
Mm-hmm.
more composite teams,
Yeah.
and any kid. So like we have kids that are, varsity level athletes. They are fast. They're going to compete in outside, other races outside of the state. But then we also have kids who like they just want to ride and they just want to have fun. They want to be active and a part of it. They might not make the podium and that's okay.
Sure.
So we have that, wide variety of athletes that we can serve.
And you're racing?
Hmm.
What does that look like?
So, not all of our riders race as well. There's
Okay.
like 20% of our kids that it's just the racing isn't for them, whether it's a schedule conflict or like they just don't want to race and that's okay. They can practice and we have other offerings for them. But we have 5 weekend races that we put on starting in August and then we end in October and then we have a central regionals race that's in Arkansas in November.
Hmm.
So,
So you stay pretty busy, is what you're saying,
uh-huh.
in the fall time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah. I work with another group that does bikes, and we always talk about like it's deeper than just a bike. And tell me, how is a mountain bike? It's deeper than just a mountain bike, right? It's deeper than just racing. How have you seen this help kids practically?
Like it sounds dramatic to say, but it does change kids' lives. Like
Yeah.
bikes are freedom.
Yeah.
Bikes are an opportunity to get on your bike. You can, you can focus on the only thing that you're supposed to be focusing on is the trail, like you on
Hmm.
the bike. So like you can leave. It's a great outlet for kids that can just leave stuff in the parking lot, and then when they go on the trail, like it's
Hmm.
just them in the trees and
Yeah.
them in their bike. We have kids that, there was a girl that she tried out for a soccer team at a local high school and she went to conditioning in the winter for 3 months. Every Tuesday, Thursday she was there and then she did the tryouts and she was the only kid that got cut
Mm.
and she was devastated. So like, but she's also one of our mountain bikers too. And so she knows that she's excited for the season to come because she doesn't have to try out. She doesn't have to get cut. Like
Hmm.
she can ride
Mm.
and and so she can be herself. So we have just a variety of kids. We have another kid that was told when he was young that he was never going to ride a bike because
Mm.
he has very little peripheral vision and
Mm.
he's on the spectrum
Mm.
and he's able to compete in our races because we're able to accommodate
Yeah.
what he needs. And so we have a million stories like that.
Yeah.
But it's just we give kids opportunities to be a part of something.
Yeah. And just be active. I mean,
Hmm.
just be out there. Tell me more about, I know you work with kids that are living in the inner city or from uh, uh, poverty-stricken areas. So, and I lived in North Omaha for 10 years. Like, the being active was not a thing. I mean, kids weren't running, kids weren't like, how have you seen that affect kids that maybe come from more of those areas?
Um, they have like it's just another opportunity to be like engaged in a community,
Yeah.
to be, and the positive aspects of obviously physical activity, the mental health benefits as well. But one of the biggest things that we're seeing is they do have in North Omaha and even South Omaha, there's a big lack of access to trails
Hmm.
and how to get there safely from in neighborhoods in North Omaha and South Omaha. And that's kind of what other bike organizations are working on is developing those trails. And
Yeah.
so right now in June, there's going to be the opening of Adams Park
Yeah.
off 30th. And so I think it's 30th in Bedford.
Y-
Um, and so that's going to open up so many more opportunities for our kids. And that's just one of the pieces to getting more kids on bikes. It's, you talk about access, it's a variety of
Yep.
different ways, like bikes, access to coaching, access to trails, things like
Yes.
that. So,
Do you guys do a lot of coaching with the kids
mhm.
than just riding? Tell me more about that.
So our coaches, last year we had 115 coaches. We train our coaches how to coach mountain biking.
Hmm.
So really, to be a coach, you just have to ride a bike without training wheels. You have to
Mhm.
be able to, stay up, right?
Stay up.
And then,
Don't fall off your bike. I mean, you can fall, but you gotta be able to ride a
yeah, ride a bike without
bike.
training wheels and pass a background check. So we
Okay.
will teach our coaches how to coach the skills.
Yeah.
And so we have a really robust training program that really prepares people. Because really, when it comes down to it, research says that the number one thing that kids want from their coaches is coaches who care.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like number 6 on the list is your technical ability
Mm,
as a coach's like actual ability to do the activity.
yeah.
So number 1 is they just want people who care.
Yep. I don't think people realize how impactful sports is in a kid's life. It was impactful in mine, right? I saw a study, they were like 85% of CEOs were in sports. Like there's something about it that, what did it do for you?
So we've talked about this before, but
Yeah.
so I went to Benson and I was on the soccer team for a couple years, and then I think I swam for 3 years. Um, if I had to have tried out, if I would have had to try out, there's no way I would have made any of those
Mm,
sports. But what it did for me is I made friends, and I still am, but I was a pretty awkward kid.
mm.
And so like making friends, things
You're
like
not. You're
that.
not.
You'll get to know me. But like, so making friends and stuff like that just was a little more difficult for me, but I was able to make friends. I got cheered on by my teammates. Um, and I was a part of something.
Mm,
And so that was pretty valuable. That actually kept me connected to the school. And that's what it does for kids. Being a teacher, I've seen that the kids that are more involved in the school, their academic performance is
mhm,
improved as well.
mhm.
So that's why we want kids to not only be like good students, but we also want them to be active participants as well.
Yeah. And there's so much, I feel like I'm an old man, but like we'll be in our neighborhood and I'm like, where are the kids, man? And that's such, I feel old, but I do feel like keeping kids active and having access to being active. Like you
Hmm.
said, you're not trying out. You can join this and compete at the same time, but like be active and be on a team and build friendships. Like that's so important for a kid.
Hmm.
It's so important.
Hmm.
How have you seen the tangible outcomes from it? Um, as you guys are measuring kind of like what are we seeing tangibly when kids join your program?
Um, I'm trying to think of the answer for that one.
Sorry, I put you on the
Can you
spot.
reword that?
We're grant writers, so it's always like, what are the outcomes? What have you seen tangibly for kids? Like that you mentioned the mental health thing.
Mhm.
Like what have you seen tangibly with the mental health side?
I mean, we've had parents that have said, like, my kid was really struggling with their mental health. They were really depressed, and
Mm,
just getting out and getting on the bike and being on a team really, really helped them. We had another kid that had built so much confidence after his first year that he was confident enough to try out for the swim team. He'd been nervous
wow.
about that,
Yeah.
and so felt confident enough that he could do it, and he did, and he made the swim team. So
Wow.
like, so we get to see those stories of how like their confidence grows.
Yeah.
We also have like we get to see the effects. Like we've got former athletes that are now coaches with us,
Mm-hmm.
or coaches of other NICA leagues when they're in college.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing. What are some of the challenges you guys have just as an organization?
So, one of the things is at like trails.
Mm,
So specifically our race venues.
sure.
Our race venues, we do require quite a bit of parking and then quite a bit of open space so that we can have our start and finish. We like it to look like and feel like a festival atmosphere. So it takes some space.
Sure.
So there aren't a whole lot of off like natural surface trails and venues in Nebraska that can hold us.
Sure.
So logistically, that's one of our biggest challenges, but also awareness. Just letting people know we exist, that
Mm,
we are an opportunity for kids because we're not an NSAA sport. We don't necessarily operate in the schools.
mm-hmm.
But so just awareness that this is another opportunity for kids that's different than your traditional stick and ball sports.
Yeah. Do you guys partner with schools quite a bit? Mm,
We try to. So some of our teams actually have clubs established in the schools.
sure.
And so like we have a club at Millard West and a club at West Side and at Millard North. And so we're kind of working a little bit on getting more clubs started. And a lot of that is um, it starts with the student athletes
Mm,
taking the initiative and trying to get it started in their schools.
yeah. What if a kid doesn't have a bike?
We have a loaner fleet. We actually,
Those questions I'm just like throwing at
it's all
you.
right. We have a loaner fleet of bikes that we loan out to our athletes free of charge for the whole season or a weekend, depending on what they need. We just replaced our entire fleet this year, so we have brand new track loaner bikes for our
Wow.
athletes.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is what's the plan here? What's the vision? 10 years. Where are you?
We want we want to create a community where a thriving cycling community in eastern Nebraska, but also like all of Nebraska and even
Mm,
western Iowa. Um, we want all kids to know of the opportunity
yeah.
that they have with us.
That's amazing. How, before we get into that a little bit, how can a kid sign up for what you're doing? Like, what does that look like?
So if a kid wants to join, we have a website. It's nebraskamtb.org. And on that, there's a page with just our teams. So you
Okay.
would look to see if there's a team in your area. We have a map on there. And then the parent would reach out to the coach that's listed there. And then the coach gets an invitation for our online registration stuff.
Yeah. Um, and if they want to coach,
They want to coach, same thing. They would get either in touch with me. My information's plastered all over the website. And then,
yeah.
or they can reach out to the coach of the team that they
Okay.
want to coach with.
Awesome. I'm gonna ask a different question, then I want to come back. You being an executive director, stepping into that role, what was that like?
It was very different.
What was
So
the learning curve
yeah,
there?
it was a pretty big curve.
Yeah.
But there's so many, so it was a big learning curve in the aspect of running a nonprofit is kind of like running a business. And so, um, and I mean, the 15 years I was in college for my 3 degrees was in education.
Yeah.
So like it was very like focused on that, but there's so many aspects of teaching and working with adults and working with kids that translates
Yeah.
pretty, I mean,
Yeah.
the business side of it, that's where I had to do a lot of learning.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and
My wife,
fundraising.
m- yeah, my wife is a teacher, so met a lot of teachers. I've met teachers who transition into the nonprofit
Mhm.
land, and there are a lot of, especially on the program side, I feel like that can translate depending on what you're doing. Um, yeah, it's always the fundraising, the businessing, the side, which um, is always fun. So,
Mhm.
how's fundraising been? How's it going? How's it happening? How's it going? I mean, that's always a learning curve for all of us, I feel like.
Fundraising's been great. We have some really great partners,
Good.
foundation partners. We've got, some sponsors and we run a couple fundraisers a year. So
Mhm.
really like our biggest um, need is just operating because so it costs us about, I'm getting specifics, but it costs about $1,200 for us per kid
Okay,
to operate, but we only charge 330.
sure. So
So
eight hundred
so
and fifty dollar gap. Yeah,
we do make up a lot of that cost just because mountain biking can be expensive. So
hmm
like you're not even just the fee to participate, but you're talking about then a bike and then,
Mm,
and then sometimes it's we don't race necessarily right in Omaha. So, people might have to travel a little bit, stuff
sure.
like that. So we try to limit the costs to parents as much as we can.
Yeah. If I'm a business, how can I partner with you?
You can sponsor us. You can sponsor the organization as a whole. You can sponsor one of our races. We also are always looking for volunteers.
Okay.
So we have a fireworks stand at the end of June, the first week of July. We always need volunteers for that. And then we also need volunteers for our races too. It
Okay.
takes about 90 volunteers a weekend to put on a race.
Oh, wow.
And so, because it's a big operation, so
Yeah,
we're always looking for volunteers.
that's awesome. What is something that in this arena that you wish people knew more about? Or maybe like a stigma that we were like, oh, what is something that you wish people were more clear on?
Um, the first thing is that we aren't Red Bull Rampage, so like when, like a lot of what people's first experiences or exposure to mountain biking, it's usually something like the daredevil-y stuff.
Sure.
We have athletes that on their own time might do some of that stuff, but like we don't teach kids
Sure.
how to do that. because that's a
What if we fall off our bike all the time? What do we do?
right. Then we need
That
to coach
hurts.
you better.
That hurts.
Yeah, and especially if you're an adult, you don't bounce as easily
No.
as the kids do. But so that's one of the things, but just it can be hard to explain and describe what we do. So like
Mm,
getting to a race and just seeing how collaborative and how much fun our events are. Like we have our athletes cheer on everybody. So they don't
yeah,
just cheer on their own team. They cheer on all the athletes.
it's fun.
So that's that atmosphere that I wish I could get more people to actually experience.
Yeah. Do coaches ride with the kids?
Hmm.
Yeah, like next to them or
Yep.
race them or like
Yep.
push
Not
them off their bike or something? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
they
Maybe. I
do. So
mean,
our coaches, this is one of the only sports that you can do as a parent with your kid
right.
because most of our
Yeah.
coaches are parents. We have a
Yeah.
lot of coaches that are not parents, which is awesome too. Um,
That is cool.
but we have a lot of our parents that, we say if you want to ride with your kid, sign up to be a level one coach.
Yeah.
And we do that also because it's athlete abuse prevention. We make all of our coaches go through background checks and stuff like
Sure.
that. But
Yeah.
yeah, you can do it with your kid. You
I
can,
love that.
yeah. I
So
ride like my own son does it, and I'm coach
yeah,
on his team,
if you're listening and you have a, how old is the
sixth through
youngest?
12th grade
6. So how old
in the
is the
fall.
sixth grader? 11, 12,
Yeah.
11 or 12, yeah. Or high school. I mean, it's a great point because I mean, I'm not going to suit up out there and go with my son and play football, but you can ride a bike together and
Yeah.
do this competitively together. I
Mhm.
love that.
Mhm.
That's great.
Yeah.
Um, anything else that you would want us to learn about or know, or, if I'm falling off my mountain bike, like, what do I do? Mountain bike's hard.
It is.
It's really hard.
But like it's also a lot of fun. We have some incredible coaches that like you do not need to be an elite athlete
Yeah.
either. Like we'll
Um,
obviously like we'll encourage our athletes to work on their fitness and things like that because
sure.
the more you do it, the better you get at it too.
Yeah.
And so that's the other thing, like, oh, I'm not good right now. I need kids to know
Yeah.
like the yet,
Yeah.
that growth mindset. Like, yeah, you
Mm,
might not be great right now, but
yep.
you keep working at it and you will be.
Yep.
So
Do you guys do the trail off of 108th and Maple? What is that one called?
there's one on 120th and Maple.
Maybe that's on
Tranquility.
Tranquility.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do
Yep.
you guys use that one quite a bit?
Our teams do, yeah.
Okay.
So it's not yet, they're undergoing some construction in the next year or so, and so we haven't been able to host a race there yet.
Sure.
But in the next couple of years when that construction's done,
Sure.
we're coming back.
We're back. Can someone donate a mountain bike? Or
Yes,
no? Or do we have to donate money and you buy it back? Like, how does that
um,
work?
we typically don't take used bikes. We have a pretty robust like loaner fleet, but what we've found is that a kid who needs to borrow a mountain bike, typically they might, if they had to buy one on their own, they're not going to spend as much money on it.
Sure.
And what we found is that the quality of the bike does affect the kid's experience.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's not to diss like Walmart bikes, but they are heavier and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they aren't put together correctly
Mm.
from the manufacturer. And so that's why we I'll if someone has a bike to donate, I will like direct them to Free Bikes for Kids Omaha or the Community Bike Project,
Yeah.
or another organization that will take them. But we want our kids, especially typically who borrow bikes from us are the younger kids, the newer kids to the league.
Mm.
And so I want their first year, their first experience to
Mhm.
be a positive one, and they're not, they have a pretty quality bike and things
Yeah.
like that. So that's important, is that just because you can't afford a bike doesn't mean you can't have a
Yeah.
quality one.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
I'm just
Not
thinking.
that we're like against taking donor bikes or loan
Yeah.
bikes,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
But if someone donates, you guys buy
yeah.
bikes and
Mhm.
they loan them out. Yeah.
Yep.
That makes sense. Well, thanks, Bree, for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You were great. Anything else you want to share? Or is that pretty
Just
much
that bikes are freedom.
they're fun?
They're fun. I don't know how many times I was as a kid, and
Yeah.
my mom didn't know where I was. I was on my bike,
That's right.
and that's awesome.
That's awesome. I love what you said about doing it together. And I think parents, I mean, there's so much to that, like connecting with your kid and staying active. And yeah, I love that. So as you guys are listening to this, number one, Say your website again for Nicole.
NebraskaMTB.org.
NebraskaMTB.org. Check them out. So many ways to get involved: volunteering, donating, coaching, putting your kid in their program. Do it. I mean, I think great group. We get to work with this group, and they're amazing. And Bree, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.